Welcome to The Competitors. We're brought to you every Sunday night by Earbuds, Endurance Live, CompuTrainerRadio.com Huddle, Endurance Live coming up on February 8th.
February 8th, Bob, don't forget that date because you know what's going to happen.
People will be calling me.
It's going to sell out. They're going to call you on about February 2nd, 3rd, and go, hey, Bob, by the way.
I heard MIrinda Carfrae's coming.
Is going to be
honored, and I got to get tickets.
And they're out. They're out of luck.
Absolutely.
Too bad, so sad.
So our first guest huddle.
Yes.
The two-time GoPro Ironman World Champion twice.
Yes.
MIrinda Carfrae joining us from her hidden estate outside of Boulder, Colorado. MIrinda, how the heck are you?
I'm great, thanks.
Nice. Well, of course, you've had a pretty good year. You win Ironman, and what, you get married in a couple weeks?
Yeah, just under 3 weeks now, so...
Wait a minute. It's still on?
Yeah.
We heard that Poncho Man was making a last-minute push.
Yeah, it was a tough decision. Poncho Man was on the table there, but yeah.
I love that. So, Rinny, going into this year's race, I mean, you've had so much success in Kona, coming in second your first time, winning it, coming in second in 11, in 2012 taking third. I mean, every time there you've had so much success. Going into this year, what were your thoughts? Did you feel you could win it?
I mean, I always go into that race, knowing I'm in good shape because, as you know, I've pretty much spent the whole year trying to get ready for it and preparing for it, and I get to Kona in great shape, the best shape that I'm in all year. So I know that, if I'm able to perform to my ability, then, I'm in for a good day. So, I mean, you have confidence that, you could pull off a win, but at the same time, I always have a lot of respect for the other girls racing and also realize that it's a long day and things can easily go wrong out there. So, just try to go in with a lot of respect and realize, how tough the event is itself. But also you need to have that confidence or that belief that you can win. Otherwise, I don't think you could do it.
Rinny, and along those lines, and having the experience you've had at that event and at other Ironmans as well, a lot of athletes know almost instantaneously when the gun goes off. It's like, oh wow, this is great. I feel good. But that not only holds for the entire event, but also for the swim and the bike and the run. At the start of each of those, you go, yes, I've got my legs. And did you know that right from the get-go and when the gun went off? And did you know that at the start of the bike and the start of the run?
Certainly not at the start of the swim. I don't think I've ever got in the water. Actually, 2010, I was swimming and I could see that I was with Leander and Hilary Biscay, and I'm like, whoa, I'm swimming way above my ability, way above my pay grade here. And I knew that year. But no, usually I don't even know where I am, and certainly this year wasn't any different. I was swimming with a small group of girls, and I didn't know who any of them were. I was trying to figure out who they were, but I couldn't figure it out. And I knew that a lot of the girls had gotten away from us. So no, I mean, I felt comfortable certainly, but I didn't know until I got out of the water and hopped on the bike that I was okay. I wasn't in a terrible position, and I was within striking distance and in a good position to start the race. And then once I hopped on the bike, the first 5 miles or so through town never feels good for me. I think it takes me a little while to sort of get into a rhythm. I like to get out to the Queen K and sort of really assess how I'm feeling then. Before that, I think just the transition from the swim, you never feel great. But then, once I was out in the Queen K and then I was able to get some splits for the front girls, I felt strong, I felt good, and then, I got some positive feedback from the, the person giving splits, showing that I was actually taking a little bit of time back from that lead pack of 12.
You know what's interesting, Rinny, is when I look at your bike splits over the years from 2009, 5:14, and then 5:08, 5:04, 5:12, and then 4:58 this year. What did you do in training in terms of your bike work? Because, like you said, you were taking time out of people, which had to give you a ton of confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this year's result was, last year you look at the split, it's hard to just take that split by itself and say it's better or worse than the year before because of conditions every year. I think last year I had a very solid ride. I got off the bike around 8 or 9 minutes down from the lead, I believe. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like last year, was a bit of a breakthrough on my bike. Certainly it doesn't reflect in the bike time because we had windier conditions than I've ever had in Kona before. But then, this year, another year of working hard on my bike, another year of racing Ironman and racing in Kona, I think. I've just been chipping away. Since I went to Kona in 2009, I knew that I needed to improve my bike if I wanted to, legitimately have a shot of winning. And so I kind of set out to, improve the bike over the years, and I think it just takes time to have that strength to be able to time trial for 112 miles and still feel strong and be able to run.
For a great runner, having a good ride is such a good indication for the kind of day you're going to have. At what point during the run, or was it right away, did you know what? Because you told us before the race, I've got 250 in me.
Right.
At what point did you realize, I've got 250 in me?
I know I said to you guys before the race that, I think I could run a sub 250 at some point here in Kona under right conditions, right circumstances. And in fact, I actually didn't think that, running and training was going great, but I don't know, I think I was carrying a couple of extra pounds than I had before. And
yeah, you look
huge. Yeah, you look huge. I can't believe that. We were wondering if you were there for a sumo wrestling competition.
Yeah.
You didn't look like an Ironman.
Oh, my God. I
know I was in great shape. I was super lean, but I don't know, like the morning of the race, it wasn't really a conscious thought before the race that I'm going to have a great run this year. I didn't. It was sort of like, I'm in great shape. I think I can have a solid performance in all three, but I wasn't really so focused. I think in prior years I was so focused on trying to have a really fast run and see if I can go faster than the year before. But this year it was more about I wanted to have a solid performance all around, and I think I was so focused on having a solid bike that I really didn't think too much about the run, and I sort of went, well, I'm going to lay it out there on the bike, and that might take it out of my run, and I'm okay with that. So, sort of hopping onto the run and starting the run. The first mile I never feel great, but my pace was on and it wasn't taking too much out of me. And then I was able to continue, I think 6:15s for a few miles, a good couple of miles in the early stages of the run. And I was actually really surprised to see the girls coming back to me so quickly because I just, in my mind, I thought that a lot of the girls would run quite well because it was a lot cooler than it could have been. And I don't know, getting off the bike 8 minutes behind the girls, I sort of wondered if they were not riding to their abilities so that they were able to have a great run as well. So I kind of expected it to be tougher to pull back time on those front girls. So to hear those splits sort of halfway through the run and then, coming up Polani, I think I was already in third position and only a couple of minutes to Rachel. So certainly I had a lot of positives throughout the first half of the run, but I was in a similar position last year, third or fourth position. I think I was in third spot around mile 14, and then both Leander and Carolyn were ahead of me. I caught Leander at about mile 15 or just about quarter, and then the wheels fell off. So that memory was very fresh. And so I didn't really just try to focus on making sure, listening to the signs of my body, making sure I'm, eating and drinking. And, I certainly kept checking in. Like in any race, you want to push as hard as you can, but you're always checking in to make sure you're not pushing too hard and that you can feel what your effort is sustainable, and kind of just trying to look for the cues on whether you've, had enough water or had enough calories and whether your body's absorbing all of those things. So I think I was so focused on just my body and trying to read the signs and, checking in with myself the whole time that I wasn't really concerned about, whether I could run a 250 or sub 250 and, whether I'd win the race. Certainly that thought sneaks into your mind at points, but I try to push it away and just focus on the task at hand.